morning. Today in our mindful flow, I have a practice that is designed to really bring focus and emphasis to the side body. So many times when we practice, we do a lot of front body opening and back bending, forward and back, or a lot of times we're focusing on hips, so we're sort of opening to the side, but in the manner of really expanding through the pelvis. Today I'd like to think about the side body and the importance of keeping the body balanced by really emphasizing these particular areas. So in other words, when we're talking about the legs, we're going to be feeling down into the side of the legs via the IT band, which a lot of us have a very tight IT band, and that can create all kinds of tightness in the knees and weakness in the legs, sometimes even cranky hips. You can even feel some of that via the sciatica up into the lower back. So we're going to be really opening up and thinking about the side of the legs and also the side body up through the rib cage. So again, a lot of times we think about forward bending and opening the back body, and then back bending, opening the front body. But today, just bring your awareness more or less to the sides of the body and thinking about the fact that we're three-dimensional, I guess. We have four sides. So we want to equally bring expansion up through those areas. So start just by finding a comfortable seat. We're going to sit in Sukhasana and do a little bit of breath work to begin. So allow yourself to settle, and I invite you to bring your gaze softly forward and down, perhaps focusing on one point until you feel like the eyes are ready to close. Allowing the eyes to close, start to take your awareness deeper inside the body. Seeing if you can identify the very center of your body, this part perhaps in the heart area, but maybe even slightly lower than the heart, somewhere settling between the middle of the lungs, the diaphragm. Just finding yourself equally balanced in the lower part of the body and the top. And then once you've identified that center spot in your body, feel as if that is the place that everything else emanates from. In other words, energy grows downward from that center spot, and energy lifts up from that central area. Likewise, as you're feeling into your seat, notice the shift or any imbalance, no matter how small it might be, from one side to the other. So allow both of your sits bones to be equally anchored. And sometimes that means maybe even a little micro shift. Try it one side to the other and just determine where that center spot is. And then once you have a good feeling for where the center of your body is, that corporeal center, bring your mind around that area. Observe your breath. Observe how balanced you feel when you are really connected to the center. And perhaps just as a little mindfulness exercise, breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 4. Just go through one more round of that in-breath and out-breath, counting to 4 each time. Relax and completely let it out. And notice how much more centered you feel than when you first began just moments ago. Open up your eyes, bring your gaze forward. We're going to begin by bringing the right hand down to the mat, lifting the left arm up, slowly bringing it up to the top, reaching those fingers up to the ceiling or the sky, and then feeling your left ribs start to lift themselves. Not the arm, but the ribs, literally lifting and expanding. Take a breath in, reach those fingers a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, allow that arm to slowly descend over the ear, maybe bending the right elbow. And just reaching and stretching, now grounding down through the left hip. Feel how much space you're liberating on that side of your body. Stay here one more breath. And then slowly bring that hand back down. Let's try that on the other side. Lifting up the right arm first, bringing it slowly up. And then once you have the arm lifted, allow the ribs to push themselves up. Almost like somebody was taking a little instrument and opening up, squeezing open space between each of the ribs themselves. And then lift that hand a little bit higher. Inhale. And then allow the arm to slowly drip over the head, reaching toward the left. The arm is soft and yielding, but feel how much space that right side of your body gains. One more breath here. And nice. Bring the arm back over. All right. Just for a little open shoulders. Let's let the shoulders roll forward. Let your head drop down. And then inhale. Sweep the arms up and back. Lift up for a little back bend. Bring the shoulders forward. Let your back round. A little seated cat stretch. And then open them out. Bring them up for a beautiful back bend. One more time. Roll forward. And then inhale. Roll up. Open your arms. Bring your hands down by your side. All right. We're going to change our seat and bring the legs out in front. Actually, I can face toward you. Might be easier to see this way. So you're going to open up your legs nice and wide, so much wider than your hips. And if you're facing down your mat, the feet might even come a little bit off the mat. So as you're sitting here in this nice wide leg position, press yourself up so that you're lifting up through the upper back. So we're not rounding and sort of slumping down, but you have a nice posture through the spine. Keep your left hand on your left leg so it can hold on to the shin, probably a little higher than the ankle, but maybe just the lower part of the shin down there. And then take your right arm across. Just start by tapping it down on the mat. Continue to lift up through your spine, and then inhale, open your arm, bring it up, out, and around, and then twist as you turn and look back at your right hand. So you're feeling into a twist. Your arm may come up at a high diagonal, or it may, if you've got any shoulder issues, it may be a little bit lower. And then bring the arm forward and slowly down. Tap it down just to the side of your left foot. And then inhale, we're going to slowly open again, just reaching, feeling into a little twist in the body. Exhale, bring it down, and just tap that hand down next to your foot. And then inhale one more time, lift it up. We're going to hold it here for a breath. Again, feeling the ribs begin to get some mobility as we turn into the twist. And then bring that hand down. Bring your hands, both of your hands behind your hips. Press down into the palms and just give yourself a little windshield wiper rock back and forth. Little back and forth. And then come back up to the top. Sit all the way up once again. We're going to take that little arm opening to the other side. So just hold on to your right leg this time. Left hand is going to start down, touching down next to the right foot. And then we're going to inhale, sweep the arm up and back. Reach it back behind and at the same time twist into your ribs. Exhale, bring that hand slowly back around, touch it down next to your right foot. Inhale, open and sweep it widely back. And exhale, bring it back down, touch down next to your foot. And then last time, inhale, sweep it up and back. We're going to hold it here. Deeply breathing into the twist. Feeling again a little mobility into the muscles around the rib cage. And then bring the hand down. Bring both hands behind your hips again so you can press the weight down into the hands and then just create a little windshield wiper back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Nice. All right, sit on up. And from here, we're going to stretch our legs down. My cat is laying on top of my notes, so hopefully I can remember where I was going to go from here because she's made herself a nice little bed on top of my journal. Sit down with your legs stretched out front. Okay, so here we're going to start in with our first little stretch on the side of the leg. So what we can do is lift up your right leg, and we're just going to let the heel rest on top of the left toes. Now, so we're just crossing the leg ever so slightly, a very slight angle to the left, and we're just going to let that right heel rest on top of the left toes. Taking the left hand to the outside of the right shin, take your right arm out into a T. Sit up nice and tall, so really elevate so that you can feel your sits bones pressing down. And now start the twist this way. Reaching out, right arm reaching back. You may not reach all the way back to the back of the mat, that's okay. But I want you to feel that stretch on the right side of your leg. And if that's too much effort for the shoulder and the arm, you can bring the hand down behind, give yourself a little break in the upper body. We're really just trying to feel the stretch on the right side of the leg, so the arm is a little bit extra here. Relax, and as you begin to put a little bit more emphasis on turning toward the right with your pelvis, you may feel more stretch. All right, come back to the center. Take that right leg down and just kind of give yourself a little bit of motion here. You can let the knees hop up and down. Feel into, did you feel that on that right side? If you did, maybe give yourself a rub, a little massage. I'm not trying to overdo it. We're trying to start out nice and slow. And then we're going to take that stretch the other side. So lift the left foot up. Just cross it over so that the heel can rest on top of the right toes. Important, sit up nice and tall. Really feel your sits bones planted down. So this time take your right hand to the outside of the left calf. Left arm starts out into a T. We're going to start with the arm out and then just slowly guide the left arm toward the back as you turn into the rib cage. Breathe here. If you feel any tightness or cramping in the outside of the hips, try to relax the muscles around the hips. And again, if that gets a little too much to hold the arm up, you can just take the hand behind you, give yourself a little point of leverage, and still feel the deep stretch down the side of the leg. So the more you shift the weight of the pelvis and the twist toward the left, the more you'll feel a little sensation starting at the upper part of the hips and IT band. Not supposed to be intense, just mild here to start. One more breath. And then come back to the center. Very good. All right, one more little series of stretches here as we're in this seated position. This time take the right leg again, bend the knee, take it over the left leg, and guide the right foot back toward the left hip. So we're aiming so that the knees might be stacked on top of each other or pointing toward the same direction. If you like, you can take a blanket and bring it underneath that top leg. If that feels better for you than just to have it hanging loose, feel free to do so. And this time we are just going to round forward. We're not going to let the body be stiff. We're just going to let the upper body be softly rounding down, letting your heart descend down towards your right leg. Let your shoulders relax. And just through the adjustment of the weight of your body dropping forward, you will again feel a deep release beginning in the outside of the hips. Again, the side body, thinking about all the connective tissue, starting from the outside of the hips down into the knees. Soften yourself. Take another breath here. And then lift yourself back up. All right, straighten out your right leg. We're going to do that same stretch on the left. So cross your left leg over. Kind of just pull that foot back so it's aiming towards your hip. If you liked the blanket, you might put that in place again underneath or between the two, a little sandwich there. And then just very slowly control the weight of your torso as it drops down towards your leg. If it becomes too intense, then don't go down any further. Stop yourself. But the slower you go, the more you will feel into exactly where this is meant to target. And you can allow those areas to become yielding, softening, and therefore releasing the tension that tends to stay trapped day after day after day. Use your breath once again to stay mindful. Lift yourself back up. Come on back up to the top. All right, remove the blanket from here. But we're going to go ahead and use that blanket now, whether you did before or not. Go ahead and use a blanket to bring under your knees so that we can do a little work on the knees without any discomfort to sensitive knees. So we're going to come to tabletop position. Once you're ready, come to all fours, knees directly underneath your hips. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders are aligned in a beautiful square position. Go ahead and take a couple of cat-cows here. It might feel nice. Drop the belly down, lift the heart. Oh, reach your head forward, cow tilt. And then exhale, drop the head down, tilt the pelvis forward, bring it into cat stretch. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Come back to tabletop position. And now using the muscles surrounding the ribs, the abdominals, the upper back, we're going to control our movement of the rib cage around in a circle. So we're dropping it down, pressing it deeply to the left, lifting it up like a cat, and then pressing it deeply to the right. So if you were to look at me from head on, you can see I'm pressing the ribs up and around, pressing to the side, really moving the ribs, trying to keep the hips in the same zone, but just using the rib cage to roll around. Again, reaching into those muscles that we just don't use very often in day-to-day life until we pull one because we're trying to reach for something. So then come on down. Let's just take a couple of rounds the other way. Just switch the direction. Press out to the right. Lift it up. Roll the barrel around to the left. Let's come around one more time and then come back to table position. All right, go ahead and stretch your right leg back. Tap the foot down on the mat. So right leg is straight, and then slide that right leg over to the left side of your mat. Toes are still down. Maybe come all the way off the mat and then turn and gaze over your left shoulder. Look back there and see if you see those toes. Again, mindful awareness of the right body opening, right side body. Slide the right leg back, come back to table position. Left leg, extend it back and then slide it across the mat, off the mat to the right side. And then turn and look over your right shoulder. Deep stretch from the left ankle all the way up through the body. Slide the left leg back. Come back to tabletop position. Let's take a break off of those arms. Come into child's pose. Come into full child and full balasana, bringing the arms back behind the body. Just let your shoulders relax. Head drops down. Breathe into the open space in the upper back. One more breath. And slide your hands forward once again. This time we're going to bring the right leg out to the side. So we're starting off in all fours position once again, moving into Parigrasana, cake gate pose. Right leg comes directly off of the hip, foot plants down. We sit up now in a kneeling position. Everything open and square to the front. Right foot is planted down. Lift up those arms. Reach both your fingers high, and then take the right hand down by your side. Left arm lifts up even higher. Create that space in the left rib cage, and then let the arm come over the ear as you slide down and close the gate. always think of this as being the closed gate, not the open gate, but however you want to picture it. Breathe here. Maybe shift that left shoulder slightly back. Maybe even look up a little bit beyond your left elbow. One more breath, holding this one a little longer today. And then lift all the way up. Bring the hands down. Reach them down in front. Take the right leg back under and press back to child's pose. Release everything down. Balance it again. And then a deep inhale kind of brings you back up to all fours. Let's take Palagrasana to the other side. Left leg is going to come out to the side. Turn this way for a change, right? I never show it this way. Left leg comes out to the side. And then lift up. Balance yourself. Center through your core. Arms reach up. Lifting, lifting, lifting through the rib cage. Left hand comes down. Right arm lifts even higher, and then expand through the right side of your body as the left hand slides down. Breathe here. We're going to stay here for 3 nice mindful breaths. Perhaps you can roll that right shoulder back a little bit more, even gaze upward beyond the elbow. One more breath. And then lift up. Bring both the hands up and then back down to table position and let yourself sink back to Balasana. Beautiful. Feel your hips just letting go and energy opening up. Do you feel the difference in your side body already? Come back up to hands and knees. You can remove the blanket. Go ahead and let's lift up to a downward facing dog. Hips are going to rise up behind us. Pedal out your dog a couple of times. Just a nice pressing down of each alternate heel. Feel it all the way back into the tops of your hips as you press gently back one leg at a time. And come back to downward facing dog. Bring your big toes together to touch. We're going to start to deeply open up the hamstrings now too, as they help associate the expansion in the side body. Taking the right foot forward like you're walking a tightrope. Right foot comes forward. Heel touching your left toes. And then your left foot steps in front of your right foot, keeping your legs as straight as your body will allow comfortably. Don't press into pain ever. But if you can keep the legs straight, that's where we're aiming. Right foot in front of your left. If you'd like, as you get closer, you can bring your hands on blocks. Left foot in front of your right. Breathe into the sides of your legs. And right foot comes in front of your left. And then left foot stands next to your right as we're up at the front of the mat now in a forward fold. Inhale, come to a flat back position, reaching your head forward. Go ahead and place your hands on your blocks, a low, medium, or high position. In this position now with the legs next to each other, we're going to lift the right leg back and start to allow it to lift up behind us. reaching into a modified warrior 3 or standing splits. Right leg reaches back. Try pointing the toe directly behind you, and then point the toe toward the midline. So rotate your toe so it's pointing toward the center, and then bring it back to point directly behind you, and then maybe externally rotate the leg so the toe's pointing to the side. Bring that right leg down all the way. Let yourself forward fold, everything facing forward. And then inhale all the way up. Reach your arms up and overhead. Deep breath in, and then bring hands to heart into Tadasana pose, facing the front. Ground down through your feet. Take a moment and just notice the sensations running up and down the side body. Do you feel it already? All right. So from here, I'm going to step back. You can stay where you are, just so I don't kick my cat in the head. So from here, standing here at the front of your mat, go ahead and bring your hands to your waist. Take your right foot out to the side. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. Just take it out to the side and keep your big toe down on the mat. So with your foot out to the side, we're going to bring the arms out, almost like a star position. So right arm is out. Let me turn this way so you can see. Right arm is out. Take your left arm up. So now we've got this diagonal line from the left arm down through the right leg. Lift up, bring your weight and your core balance to the left leg. You may stay here if you wish. If you want to, you can play around with lifting the right toe off the mat. We'll take a balance, so try it a little bit. If you need to tap it back down, you don't have to keep it here the whole time. Just maybe lift a little bit, and then tap it down, and then maybe try to lift it again, and tap it down. Bring your hands down by your side. Inhale, both arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet back to downward facing dog. Press back to a nice stretchy downward dog, hips lifting high. Inhale, exhale, and then bring your toes together to touch again. So bring them to the center of the mat. Big toes pressing together. This time we're going to walk up the mat, bringing yourself to the tightrope once again with the right foot starting forward, right foot in front of left. Again, keeping your legs as straight as they'll go. Left foot in front of the right. Hips are still rising high. Breathe into the sides of your legs and the hamstrings. Right foot steps in front of your left. At any time, you can reach for those blocks and give your arms a little bit of extra length. Left foot in front of right. Right foot in front of your left. And then left foot comes forward. Now your feet are together at the front. Hands are on the mat or maybe on your blocks. Lift up, come to a flat back position. Lengthen your head forward. Draw that belly in for strength, stability, and balance. And then fold down again. Now we're going to lift that left leg behind us. So lift your straight left leg, balance on your right. Use your blocks for support. Standing splits. Use that left gluteal muscle. We're also using those to engage and hold the leg aloft. Point the toe directly behind you. And then rotate. Maybe internally rotate, so turn the toe toward the right, just the ankle and the toe. And then bring it back to a straight position. Maybe externally rotate, turn the toes outward. Bring it back to the center, bring the left foot down, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to the top. Reach your arms up and over. And exhale, bring hands to heart. Once again, take a breath into Tadasana. Feel both of your legs super glued to the mat, grounded down. Close your eyes. Deep breath in. Exhale. All right, from this position, I'm going to turn again just so it makes it easier to see. What we're going to do is bring our hands to the waist, take the left foot out, and simply tap the big toe down. So it's not a big giant step, it's just tapping it out to the side. Bring your arms out as if they're coming to star position. And then this time we're going to lift the right arm up. So the right arm has a line of energy down to the left toe. Lift up through your body. Feel yourself supported on the right leg. And then if you want to play around with it, lift the left toe up, levitate, and then tap it down. Maybe lift a little bit and tap it down. If you don't feel steady enough to do that, just keep it in that anchored position. If you want to try it, and then tap it down. Bring both hands down. Sweep your arms up. Exhale and fold. From forward fold, widen your feet now to hip distance apart, maybe even a little wider than your hips. My kitty's just going to stay here this whole day, aren't you? This whole time.